Hello and welcome to the Everyday Stories on our Homestead. I'm Scott Westoff, and I'm just giving you some thoughts that I learned from yesterday. Yesterday, I listened to a wonderful podcast. Fair Hill Farmstead Life is the name of the podcast, and we had a guest on named Holistic Hilda. I love the episode. I'll include a link in the show notes. You can find it on our website, profitablehomesteadproject.com. And I'm starting a blog there where I'm just going to put the show notes and the information that we go over, and you'll be able to find all the information. Make sure I put that in the notes so we can get that going for you. So excited. I'm learning how to do all this stuff. So thank you for bearing with me and joining me for this podcast. It was wonderful listening to this podcast because it made a whole lot of sense to me. We need a holistic approach to our health. And one of the things that Hilda said on this podcast was you can either pay more at the grocery store and less to the doctor, or you can pay hardly anything for food. Well, it's getting more and more expensive every day. You can pay less for cheap food and spend more at the doctor. So the trade-off, do you want the good food and good health or the bad food and bad health? Obviously, eating well, for me, that's an obvious no-brainer for me. And I look forward to the opportunity to provide that for my community as well. And it's not free. It takes a lot. Growing things organically, my neighbor was telling me that he expects at least 50% of his crop to not turn out perfectly. And if you're used to buying things at the store, you're used to like stuff that looks perfect, it's actually disgusting, but it looks great. And because they've coated it with wax, where they've sprayed it with all sorts of stuff to make it so it looks beautiful and no bugs have ever touched it. Well, if bugs aren't willing to eat it, then we shouldn't eat it either. And because there's something wrong with it. And anyway, yesterday I was discussing this whole thing with my wife. She's wonderful, she's beautiful, and she loves me and our kids and our family. But she was like, just thinking about all the work that goes into a homestead gives me a headache. I was like, oh no, because that's my whole goal, to go from this less than an acre property to 50 acres, which really isn't that big. That's a hobby farm is what we always called it when I was a kid. My grandfather was a farmer, and I had some other friends that were farmers, and they said 50 acres was just a hobby farm. We can do a lot with just 1 acre. Imagine what we could do with 50. But it is a lot of work. There's a lot of people out there that just want to do their 40 hours a week or 60-hour-a-week job. And homesteading is really a lifestyle. It's not a job. And you live where you work. You might be helping birth a calf. There's different things that you're going to be doing, and it could be 24/7. It's just like taking care of a family. You're never off duty. I understand it's a lot of work. I'm willing to take on the work. And I know that my wife enjoys what she does as a librarian at the school. She really enjoys it. She's all sort of excited to get started this fall. And I love her, and I don't want to overwhelm her with all the things that she wants to get done and loves her job. I want to make it so she can work wherever she chooses. So I'm going to, hey Stormy, I'm going to have to work on this a lot alone and get her help whenever she wants to. Sometimes we are the only one in our families who wants to do the homestead, and that's okay. And I will put in the work, and we'll get to where we can take care of it, meaning me and other people that join in this vision of having holistic food and good food for us and everyone around us. And it's a lot of work. I'm going to need some help, but I'm more than willing to do what I got to do to be able to eat well and to be able to take care of my health and my family's health. And those are my thoughts from today. I'm looking forward to growing with you and growing this homestead, even if it's just my vision and not my wife's. I feel sorry, but I can understand. It's a lot of work, a whole lot of work. Live at your job, but it's worth it. In my opinion, it's totally worth it to eat good food and take care of our bodies and take care of our communities. Farmers really have been a very small portion of our population currently. It used to be that everybody lived on a place and grew their own food, but now we're looking at 2% of the population growing their own food, which gets really scary if things continue to get worse. And they will. We know that life is only going to get more hectic. And prophesied for a long time that that would be the case. Not that we should be scared or anything, and we need to be joyfully prepared, like the joyful prepper says. Things happen in all of our lives. We lose a job, someone gets sick, whatever. We need to be prepared for the things that happen, no matter what. And we're not waiting for the apocalypse or something. There's little things that happen in all of our lives. And in order to prepare for those events, we need to have things in storage. We need to have some money backing us up and some things to trade and barter. If you're in the situation where that's just not possible, do what you can. Get an extra can of corn when you go to Aldi or something, and just start building a little bit of reserve. I've always heard that it takes 3 days for clean water to be restored to an area after a disaster. We actually had several times in the city next to us, about 6,000 people there, and they supply our water